we'll get straight to it. Dermot, our first category is the disc, and a disc, a common machine on lots of tillage farms across the country.
Yeah, and it's the one that most people have invested in probably for stubble cultivation. So what we're aiming here is to meet two requirements: to actually cultivate the stubble to generate green cover, or secondly, to cultivate the stubble to actually sow a cover crop. So that's really what we're after. There's a number of ways of doing it. The disc, I suppose, in terms of its category, they tend to work, I suppose, generally fairly shallow. In very dry and hard conditions, they actually won't be able to penetrate very deep. A lot of the short discs won't be able to do that, but they're fine for that. We don't need to cultivate deeply to establish green cover or to sow cover crops, so there's no problem really with that. The other thing that people would like about them is they would tend not to bring stones up to the surface as much. But we would want to be a little bit careful if you ever get using these machines in wetter conditions. You'd want to be careful that we don't compare or don't create a compact layer beneath the working depth of the disc, because the disc in wet conditions is a compacting tool. But of course, you know, when we're cultivating stubble, we're usually in fairly dry conditions at that time of year.
Okay, Dermot, so we had the disc here after running through. A really nice seed bed left here after this machine.
Yeah, look, it's doing plenty of work. I think the lads have set it good and shallow. It's moving most of the stubble, which from a stubble cultivation point of view isn't a bad thing, but at the same time it's not too deep. Right, as you're moving it there, you're getting down to firm ground very, very quickly. So it is doing it quite level. So considering the conditions here today, because this soil is very easy leave uneven after the cultivator. It's inclined to be, but this is doing a very good job in that context.
Dermot, setting up these machines is very important, and I think that's what we've seen here with this disc now. It's really well set up for depth here today, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, starting off properly is key to doing these jobs.
It is, and like the depth, you know, does determine some of the settings on these machines, okay? Even more so on the tine machine that we'll move on to next. If you want to work shallow, you have to have a wide cutting share to try and get all of the soil moved, right? So all we're trying to do here is to really get good seed to soil contact. There's plenty of volunteers, weed seeds there, in this case to grow that green cover that we want to do. Or if we're going to sow cover crops there, we just want to get good soil to seed contact after that. So all we need is a light cultivation and a bit of consolidation, accurate sowing depth afterwards if we're using a seeder in combination with these machines, or indeed without a seeder it'll still establish green cover.
It's certainly a nice job there, whether that be for a stubble cultivation or to add a cover crop seed to it as well.